Tonight, we're hearing more from St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, just a day after defeating incumbent Cori Bush for the Democratic nomination for Missouri's 1st Congressional District. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. This means Wesley Bell will face off against Republican Andrew Jones on the November ballot. And since this congressional seat has been long held by Democrats, he is very likely to win. Both candidates were holding watch parties last night when they learned the news. And here's what they both had to say.
Negative stuff on social media, it does not faze me. It doesn't bother me. This isn't just about campaigning and adults talking and negative messaging, but our kids are watching. Yes, they are. And what we say matters.
Because your side was so weak, you had to spend $19 million. Lying, deceit, distorting cost a lot of money. It cost a lot of money to lie.
In the last few hours, we sat down with Wesley Bell.
He went on the record with our political editor, Mark Maxwell.
But this race got nasty.
A lot of that noise came from young liberal progressives, many of whom smeared you as a, quote, plant. They called you a puppet, someone who they felt could not speak for himself on big issues like abortion because they thought that pro-Jewish groups controlled you with their money. Do you feel that any of your critics at any time in this race crossed a line from just scrutinizing outside money campaign finance into racism or anti-Semitism?
You know, there were things that were said that absolutely crossed the line.
Could you have won this race without support from AIPAC?
I believe we would have won this election regardless. Because we don't want to see one innocent person harmed anywhere in the world. But we are going to stand with our fellow democracies.
My question to you is, how long are you willing to stand with our fellow democracies like Israel if they continue to harm innocent people?
Well, I think that that's a loaded question, and I think it's missing what's happening on the ground there. There's a terror state. Hamas is in no uncertain terms a terror state. Their goal, which is stated in their charter, is the destruction of Israel.
Do I hear you saying there that at this juncture, the only option is a military option?
Well, I didn't say that at all. I mean, I think that's a very...
You said you have to address Hamas, which is a terrorist
state. Yeah, you have to
state.
address the Hamas.
How do you do that without a military option?
Well, with Hamas, I don't know if there are many options other than the military option, because Hamas can end this war tomorrow. If Hamas freed the hostages and left the region as a ceasefire agreement was on the table just like that, and that was months ago, this war would end immediately.
Bell's opponent, incumbent Congresswoman Cori Bush, delivered a passionate concession speech.
Our Justina Cornell was there, and the crowd was fired up. She joins us now in studio with more on all that. Justina.
Mike and Kelly, in an 18-minute speech, Cori Bush started off by saying pulling her away from her position as Congresswoman, well, all that did was take some of the strings off. Then she pointed her finger to the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee, known as AIPAC.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down. What you didn't want to do was allow me to get radicalized even more, because this is the thing. I ain't scared. I don't fear you.
Her speech then attacked her opponent, Wesley Bell, but she then later talked about unity and her passion for St. Louis. In reaction today, we spoke to her friend, St. Louis Alderman Rasheen Aldridge, who was there last night as well. Now, he believes her message was towards AIPAC, an organization bringing in millions of dollars to a local race, making the candidate with outside dollars win. Now, we also spoke to Rabbi Jeffrey Abraham with Congregation B'nai Emunah, who watched the speech early this morning. He said the rhetoric follows months of similar verbiage, and he felt like this was the crescendo of it all. Here's what Abraham and Aldridge had to say.
And she focused a lot on the money and the money and the money. And I think it's an important reminder, that it's an age-old anti-Semitic trope to say, oh, the Jews control the money, when in reality that's not the case.
I don't think her anger was at the residents of CD1, people that was either with her or without her. I think her anger and our anger is with an organization that is not from here, that literally bought a seat, that doesn't really care about the conditions of St. Louis.
Now, Congresswoman Cori Bush said this isn't over and she will continue to fight for St. Louis. Now, we did reach out to her office and APAC for interviews. We haven't heard back.
Thanks, Justina. In the race for Missouri's governor, Mike Kehoe won the Republican nomination. He will face off against Democratic nominee Crystal Quaid. You can find results for all of last night's races on KSDK.com. For a link, text the word results to 314-425-5355.